let's see, if you'd have a seat over here, partner and I will sit here.
This is a public service.
No problem.
You all having fun with this yet? I'm sure the calls to the state attorney office from our city to go, you guys are having fun with it.
Well, sometimes it's just what we do.
We have certain people that are elected that no matter what they do, there's people in town that don't want them there. So,
Commissioner, do you have your driver's license with you? Let me close this door real quick. Is this address correct?
yes.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
All right. You find the place okay? I mean, obviously you're here.
Okay. Google Maps works sometimes.
Good. Thanks again for coming in. The reason that we've invited you is our office received a complaint of an alleged sunshine violation. Our job is just to investigate it, determine what did or didn't happen, and then determine was it or was it not a violation of the law, and then the boss will determine, is it something that we document, educate, how do we handle. Our objective is not to hurt anybody or embarrass anybody. So,
You know something? If I did something wrong, then I did something wrong. If I didn't do something wrong,
and that's the truth. All right. So what we'd like to do is take a sworn statement from you. That way, when we document this, we can say this is exactly what Commissioner said, and it's true. So would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I did.
Thank you, sir. Your current position with the City of Deltona is?
City Commissioner, District 6.
And how long have you served in that
Since
capacity?
November.
Since this past November,
This past November.
of 2022?
2022.
The months are flying by.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Only a couple more years.
You're just talking about holidays.
Oh, no. My wife hates politics. And how I got into this, my wife hates politics. So.
Well, God bless
And
you.
then this, no matter what you do, people lambaste you. I mean, I could give them what they want and do what the people want, and you still get in trouble. You still get yelled at. You still get called names. And if you did something when you were 12, they're going to throw it out there on Facebook and everybody. Yeah, it's just
Understood. Commissioner, who's the current city manager?
Jim Chisholm.
Okay. And that's CHISOLM?
Yes.
How long has he served?
He has been there. Well, he was there. He was the acting city manager prior to the election. They had
Okay.
put him in probably 2 months earlier, the past commission and
Okay.
past mayor, and they voted him in and made him acting city manager.
And when was he voted in as the official city manager?
I can't.
Approximately.
Approximately February, because I made the motion to make him the actual
Okay.
permanent city manager and give him a year contract.
Was there a time while he was acting and prior to being voted in as the official city manager, was there a time when the city advertised applicants?
They did advertise prior to my election, not since
Okay,
I've been
it was prior to your
Yeah,
election. Okay.
prior to my election.
Do you remember approximately when that might have been?
No, because it all happened. It was a big stir up in the city, and it happened right before the hurricanes, and they got rid of the guy that was doing the city manager.
Who was that?
That was John Peters.
And did he resign or was he fired by the commission? What happened?
I think there's a lawsuit going on now with that, but I
Okay.
think he actually resigned.
Okay.
I believe he resigned. Some people say he got fired. I believe he resigned. So He put his letter of resignation and they accepted it. That's pretty much a resignation.
Approximately when did that happen?
That was before the election, before I was there. That was,
I mean,
January, no, it was a few months.
June?
No, it was probably August, September sometime.
Okay.
It could have been somewhere. I don't remember exactly when.
Okay.
But he resigned, and the prior commission had our city attorney, I guess, acting city manager for a short period of time, because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't elected yet, so I didn't have all the information. But our city attorney was the acting city manager for, I think, like around approximately 3 weeks.
Okay.
During the hurricanes, I know she was the acting city manager.
Part of this specific allegation is whether or not a candidate for city manager had ever come to your house.
Yes.
Okay. Who was that candidate and when did that happen?
It could have been. I'm thinking it was December, January. I'm trying to think of it. I don't remember it back that
Right.
months. He came to my house, and I reached out to call different candidates that were interviewed.
Okay.
And he volunteered. He was from Ohio. I can't think of his name. You know his name.
If I tell you his name, would you remember?
Yeah.
How about David Lynch?
Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
He came to my house.
So you reached out to him as well as others? Okay.
He was actually the only one that returned my call.
Okay.
And he told me he had a son that was down here in Florida, and he wanted to relocate, and he said he'll come down and talk to me. So he came on his own dime.
Okay.
Came down and reached out and talked to me, and came to my house. And he's crooked as hell.
Okay.
Well, when you make statements that if you put me in a position, I won't forget where my loyalties lie, that pretty much sums it up.
Okay. So the meeting didn't go so well?
No.
And you said that meeting was maybe sometime around December or January?
Yeah, at my house.
Okay.
And he called. I mean, he repeatedly called me and called me and called me and called me, and I just blew him off.
Okay. Do you remember the time of day? Was it morning, afternoon?
Mid-afternoon.
Mid-afternoon.
I mean, maybe 1.
Was it a weekend or a work day?
I think it was a work day.
Was there anyone else that attended the meeting?
That attended the meeting? No. Later on that afternoon, a commissioner came over to my house, which was Dana McCool. She came to my house. There was something I wanted to talk to her about. There was something else. But she had come to my house, and even when she got there, the very first thing, when she met Mr. Lynch, and she said she remembered him or whatever, she remembered him from the interview, she said it was nothing. She said, I don't mind sitting here talking, but there's nothing. The first thing she said was basically, I don't want to discuss anything that might come to the commission, we're going to vote on.
Okay.
Then me and her talked about some fundraiser stuff like car shows and stuff like that.
Was there any time, well, before I ask you this, did you and Commissioner McCool engage in any conversation or questions of Mr. Lynch at that time?
We had general conversation. He was trying to explain his whole background.
Okay.
And different things that I guess you could say he got in trouble for or accused of. And he made headline news somewhere in Ohio he was making a sanctuary city for statues. Maybe when everybody was tearing down statues.
Okay.
He made news because he was telling people to bring the statues to his city. So.
to put that conversation in context, did you ask questions of him and he respond? Did Commissioner McCool ask questions of him and he respond?
No, there wasn't it was nothing.
Was
Dana was very blunt about I don't want to discuss anything we might have to vote on.
Okay.
I mean, I was newly elected, so
right.
I mean, she was very blunt on she didn't want to discuss shit that we were going to vote on.
Okay.
And David was he was talking about just different things he's done in his life, and he was talking about how he was a lawyer and he gave up his license. Some people said he lost it. He was just trying to give overall conversations about that. And then when Dana did leave, I sat and talked to him, and like I said, that's when he made his comments about I won't forget where my loyalties lie and shit.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, I'll get in touch, and he left, and he blew me up for a while, but I didn't like how our city has a history of crooked shit anyway.
Okay.
And I didn't want, when he said I won't forget where my loyalties lie, that's it. Sorry, that's just you're just crooked.
Okay.
And then he reached out to other commissioners while he was in town. He reached out to Tom Burbank. He reached out to Caldwell and all them, and I think Dana had lunch with him like the next day or 2 days later, and then Burbank had lunch with him, and that was it. And I stopped all contact with him.
Okay.
Because he wasn't my cousin. And I'm the one that, when he reached out, when he told me he wouldn't forget his loyalties, you're crooked. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. If you don't mind my asking, your thought process behind inviting him to talk with you, that was because you were trying to make your best decision?
I was trying to learn more about the whole thing, the whole process, because I was wondering all about, I'm just learning about the city manager thing and who's all the thing, and so I want to know why all these different people they picked. Then they picked Mr. Jim Chisholm, which was right here in Daytona Beach. Why the decision was made. We were still in the process. Jim Chisholm was only a temporary until we find one. So I was hoping maybe we already spent this money. Maybe we could find a good candidate out of these people.
Okay.
But that went south. Right?
I understand.
His first conversation with me when he said that, then I said, I'm the one that made a motion to, I don't know, a month later or something, or month and a half later to keep Chisholm as our regular manager.
Sure. All right. Very honestly, and I want to make sure that I share this carefully because I'm not trying to embarrass you. We've received a sworn statement that you and Mr. Burbank, Commissioner Burbank, were both at your house at the time that...
Absolutely right.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that whenever we conclude our interview, that if there's a mistake or a misspoken comment, that I share that with you because, again, our whole purpose here is just try to figure out what really happened.
Burbank never came to my house.
Okay.
I gave each other phone numbers to Burbank and David Lynch.
Okay.
And they met for lunch the next day or 2 days later, wherever it was, because from what I understand, Lynch stayed in town for a few days.
Okay.
And Burbank never met Lynch at my house, not one time.
Okay.
Because when Dana McCool got to my house, Steve Caldwell, which is another commissioner, was rebuilding my house.
Okay.
I just spent like 80 grand remodeling my house. Now, Steve Caldwell is my best friend.
Okay.
I mean, it's no secret. Everybody knows. Well, he had just reinstalled all the hurricane windows. I mean, we moved out of my house for a month.
Okay.
He just got done remodeling my house because Caldwell was coming to finish some of the stuff that he had to do at my house when Dana got there. Okay. So Caldwell was doing some work in the other room. Right. And then left because now I got Caldwell there and Dana McCool there. Right. Burbank not one time came to my house and had a meeting with David Lynch.
And so that I'm glad you mentioned Commissioner Caldwell because I wanted to make sure that we go through the gamut. Yep. Was Commissioner Caldwell in any way involved in any of your conversations with Mr. Lynch?
No, and Caldwell wasn't interested in talking to him.
Okay. So he wasn't there during Lynch's presentation?
He came. David wanted him to be sitting down with him. Okay. But Caldwell was doing his stuff and had other jobs or something, whatever the hell it was. I don't even know because it was brief that he was there. Okay. And then left. But he was doing all my house. Okay. Like I said, I spent 2 months doing my house, remodeling my whole house, and that's what Steve does for a living. Right. He has a construction company. And even prior to our election, he started my house. It only took of course that was COVID.
Sure.
It took forever to get, took a year and a half to get windows. And
I understand. Okay, so Commissioner Caldwell was there, and he was working on the interior or exterior of the home?
the interior of the home.
Interior of the home had nothing to do with the meeting you had with.
No, he walked
with
through the
Mr. Lynch.
room, he met David, and that was the extent of it. Dana McCool came in, she sat there, and her first thing out of her mouth is she wanted no part of anything that was going to be voted on, and then it was just regular, everyday conversation. David proceeded to tell me about why he wasn't the manager up there no more, and what took place, and all the supposed accusations and different stuff that took place.
Did any other commissioner
No.
from the city of Deltona come by in any capacity
No.
whatsoever while Mr. Lynch was there?
No.
Okay. Did you and Commissioner Caldwell, or did you and Commissioner McCool, or did you and Commissioner Burbank have any private conversations with regards to your meeting with Mr. Lynch?
No. Just I might have made a comment. I might have made a comment to somebody, to Caldwell, at one time, talking about Lynch being crooked.
Okay.
That was about. It was no about making him manager. No, absolutely not.
Okay. And
That's why, if you look at all the records of going back, I never made a motion to bring him in, make him
Sure.
city manager. Not at all. No, zero way, shape, or form.
it might seem logical, especially with Commissioner Caldwell being a good friend, that you might explain why Mr. Lynch was there. I imagine you probably had that kind of conversation that, well, he's a candidate.
Well, I think I even told the secretaries at City Hall that one of the guys I've reached out to one of the people.
Okay.
And everybody told me that I'm allowed to interview.
Right.
And it just they said not with other commissioners. And like I said, when Dana McCool came over, that was the first thing she said. We're not discussing anything we vote on.
Right.
That was the extent of.
Okay.
But no, when he told me he was going to do what I wanted, no, you're crooked
Right.
as fuck. No.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
And if you look at all the records, all our meetings, all the things, I never one time wanted to make a motion for him to be our.
Sure.
And then after that, I actually reached out to Chisholm and discussed if he would take the contract for being our city manager.
Okay.
But Burbank, no way, shape, or form.
So Commissioner Caldwell was the only one there, and he was working, doing
He
construction.
was working doing
not part of the meeting.
No, he was not part of the meeting. He came to my house doing work on my house.
Okay. And Commissioner McCool came over for a fundraiser.
She came over to talk about a car show because she had just done a car show.
Okay.
And I like Dana. She's a little touched, but when she wants to do fundraisers and stuff like that, I would try to help her do her fundraisers, and if I can participate or donate money. And I have a bar. I own a bar in town,
Okay.
so I'm always trying to help.
So the car shows were to raise money for what organization? Do you remember?
The last one she did, I think it was for handicapped kids in our city.
Okay. All right. Do you remember which charity this might have been for?
No.
You probably do a lot of them.
I've done many.
Okay. That
I'm
makes
always
sense.
doing food truck events, car shows. I mean, the last one she did, the one she did before was, I think I gave her money for T-shirts and shit donated from my bar, but it was, it was something for, I think it was buying diapers and stuff for people.
How long did Commissioner McCool remain there?
15 minutes. She didn't stay long.
And how long was Commissioner Caldwell there? Was he there before Mr. Lynch arrived, or did he arrive?
No, he was there. I believe he came after Mr. Lynch got there.
And how long do you think he was there?
30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour tops, because he was doing stuff in the other back bedroom.
And how long did your discussion with Mr. Lynch last, approximately?
An hour. Well, my discussion with him lasted 5 minutes. His lasted an hour.
Okay, all right. I understand.
He was just bloating himself up and blowing himself up, and he wasn't. He was just.
Okay. Do you know which other commissioners Mr. Lynch met with? And you said that he may have gone to lunch with Commissioner McCool and then with someone else.
I guess he met with McCool like a couple of days later, and I think he met with Tom Burbank too.
Okay. And how do you know that? Did either of them tell you that? Did Lynch tell you that?
I think he called me at one point, left a message, and told me that he met with them and they loved him. So
Okay.
he was just sucking up.
Okay. All right. Did any of the commissioners on the commission ever contact you and discuss their feelings about Mr. Lynch or any other city manager candidates privately outside of any commission meeting?
No.
Okay. So
now we've had conversations about old ones that were fired in the past.
Okay.
But not nobody that we're voting on in the future.
Okay. All right. So the nice, easy, clear question, Commissioner, did you have any private meeting with another commissioner at your home or anywhere else that was a meeting that was not noticed publicly so that the public could attend, where you discussed any matters that you reasonably believed may have, would have, should have come before the commission to vote?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Steve Caldwell's my best friend, and if we discuss any kind of politics around our wives, both of them will kill us. I'm sorry. If we talk about an event that we have to go do, even to make an appearance, like 4th of July event, we're all at a barbecue.
Right.
I left the barbecue to go to the city event, just to make an appearance. Now, Steve Caldwell and his wife were there. His wife wouldn't even let him go with me to the 4th of July event to make an appearance. His wife hates politics. This is how bad his wife hates politics. She wouldn't even let him go with me to the city event for 4th of July. So no, we don't sit. Sorry, there's more things in life I can. Now I might sit around and talk about how so many people in the city are an asshole, but it's not usually elected. Well, sometimes it's elected officials, but it's usually a group. There's a group of people that no matter what. So
understood.
And from what I understand, Dana's already been telling everybody in the whole city. She talked to you guys months ago or whatever the hell it was. So there's a big head hunting thing right now, especially against Burbank.
Okay.
And I think I'm probably second on the list because I'm a mouthy prick and I'm not politically correct.
Okay.
And I don't go along to get along.
Understood. Well, thank you for...
And you'll probably reach out to Steve now so you can ask him. But Burbank, it's funny because when you told me on the phone, it was a meeting about Burbank. And of course, people will say, well, don't give no answers. I have none high. Burbank was absolutely not there. Now, Dana was there. So, but she, like I said, I'll have to give her credit, even though she's a little touched with her other chemo and everything else. She her medication. The first thing she said, she didn't want to discuss anything that was going to come to the vote. So, but Burbank never, not one time, was there.
Okay.
He might bring you a birdhouse today. So he makes birdhouses. The guy's like 72, and he makes birdhouses. He takes scrap wood out of trash and makes birdhouses.
How about that?
And if you go through our city hall, you'll see, because every office in city hall has a birdhouse in it. And I have 45 of them. He made me a birdhouse before the election. I was friends with Tom, and I owned a bar. He made me a birdhouse for every NFL team.
Oh my gosh.
And some of them are pretty intricate damn birdhouses. Wow. But he takes wood out of trash and makes old picture frames and stuff like that and makes birdhouses. So.
Jim, you have any questions?
No.
So did I violate the law?
Commissioner, I was going to ask you if you have anything you'd like to share or any questions you think that...
Did I violate the law? You asked me a question.
No, that's a very good question. All right. In order to render this opinion, I'll have to complete my report and send it to one of our prosecutors to review, okay? You're a smart man. The Florida Sunshine Law precludes or prohibits elected officials from having private discussions about pending matters that would come before the body without publicly notifying everyone that meeting would exist.
Right.
So I think you probably know the answer to that already. It's not an answer that I'm allowed to disclose
Right.
or share or render an opinion on. I'm not an attorney. I'm just one of the investigators that would prepare everything and send to an attorney.
We gather the facts.
But you're a smart man and you know the answer to the question without me sharing it. So whatever I would share would be a layman's opinion, but I think that you should go home comfortable and know that.
I just think it's a fucking fiasco.
Well,
I mean, you didn't watch the last meeting where the mayor was bitching about Burbank sending emails? I'm sure you already heard about it.
I've heard a lot of things about the city of Deltona.
He said he's going to personally bring all. I mean, Burbank. See, Burbank. You could think he's an older. I mean, he's 70, whatever, 72 or 74, whatever the hell he is. People think he's really smart because he had the mayor even threatened him at the last meeting about, you keep sending emails, I'm bringing them to the state attorney's office myself. Well, sending emails isn't against the law. What's against the law is if you're discussing stuff you're going to vote on. So Burbank will send him emails. Good morning, Mayor. Have a good day. So he's stirring the pot continuously.
Maybe we just need to come take away everybody's spoons.
If you came to a meeting, look, we did last meeting or 2 meetings before, and this came from Dana. We discussed somebody's bills or taxes for about 5 minutes. Dana brought up the subject about people having chickens in their yard. We talked about that for 2.5 hours. We talked about your taxes for 5 minutes, and we talked about you having chickens in your yard for 2.5 hours. Does that tell you the common sense of taxes? Ain't no big deal.
God bless you.
Fucking chickens.
Commissioners, everything you've said today true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming in and spending your time with us. We appreciate your help.
I wish you guys had more time to spend on time that you wanted to do instead of dumb shit.
Understood.
Because this is just, I got you. That's all they're doing is someone trying to get somebody, and there's a group trying to do anything they can to get Burbank out of there for one. Which,
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Thank you, sir.
I enjoy. Thanks. You guys have fun. Hopefully you get to spend your more quality time doing it.
Well, hope you have a great day.
Thanks.
We'll walk you through.
Get lost in here.
We're out here today to ensure our natural rights are respected by those who swore an oath to support, protect, and defend the rights of the people. The purpose of all interactions is to peacefully promote government accountability and transparency. Please like, share, and subscribe so this message can reach as many people as possible. I implore you to peacefully seek redress to any and all of your grievances. This is a public service.